Good to have you here.
Greetings. It's a blessing to be here as well.
Good to see you, man.
Yes.
So today we're just gonna have a little chit chat, and we don't want to be a natural interview, right?
Yeah.
So, just tell the people, tell the audience, who is Imar Shephard?
Well, let me say, blessed respect to each and every one. My name is Imar Shephard, which is my government name. Popular known as Imar Shephard, a singer, songwriter, musician, someone who uses music to motivate, elevate, and captivate the minds of the people. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was born and grew up in St. Thomas, Cedar Valley, Richmond Gap. We up in the mountains. When you hear them talk about Blue Mountain Coffee,
Oh,
that's where.
Blue Mountain?
Yes, man, in the range of Blue Mountain, beautiful place, beautiful scenery, Presently I live in Kingston where, Kingston is the home of reggae music.
Mm-hmm.
So them always say, we have to catch a bus, to come at home. You know what I mean? Come at home, come get the bus, and then, we, take it from there, so.
But it seems like you spend a lot of time in Atlanta, though.
Well, the thing about Atlanta seems to start love Imar Shephard. And let me tell you something about life in general. You don't always crown king, in your own place.
Mm-hmm.
So wherever the love is, you have to go where the love is and make sure you build from there. Automatically the whole world will take on, but I guess that's why we're in Atlanta so much. I love Atlanta, I love Atlanta people, I love the energy.
And I noticed that I saw you twice in one weekend on stage. I mean, you had the with Kenny Blessing, the Valentine's. What do you call it? Valentine's Serenade. With Kenny
Valentine Serenade. Hosted by Wayne Hall and the restaurant there, which is Chilani Fusion Restaurant. Yeah. Our kitchen. Yeah, kitchen is the name. Yeah. And beside that, we came up and we did Kenny Blessing album launch, which, I was privileged to feature on the album.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Question.
So
you're way ahead of my question.
well, you can't stop me.
No, man, we're not stopping, man. Make it easier for me, don't at the bottom.
Yeah, it'll flow. So it
yeah, man,
flow,
yeah,
you know
man.
what I mean? So just to add, Kenny Blessing, we met and, basically feature me on a track and his album, As you know, very good singer, very good artist, and we kind of like, coming up through the same lineage.
But he's from St. Thomas too, isn't he?
Yeah, I was about to tell you that, you know what I mean?
We don't have to ask no question.
It's not until, I came to Atlanta last year, and did a 1 month run, a 1 month tour, we get to meet him, and just naturally, it's like him just come backstage and me and this man just start talk naturally. Everything just happen just naturally. That him start tell me that he go to Martby High School and him from St. Thomas, so he grew up between St. Thomas and a next small island. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a natural energy, natural vibration, and yeah.
Okay, so let's come back to you now. You've been in the business for how long?
Yeah, for quite some time, from, I could say, from 2008. But as you know, we've been singing from our idea we need. As old time people would say.
The best
idea we need, yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And want to say how many songs or albums you have so far?
Alright, so far I have 2 albums out. One I put out in 2017, just released one last year, so the first one, the name of it is Unleashed. This one is called Morning Glory.
Okay.
And we have a lot of songs, a lot of singles. In fact, may I tell you, a lot of songs.
So where can we hear your songs?
Well, you can hear my songs on all major digital platforms. Just to name a few, you have Audio Mac, you have Spotify, you have YouTube, you have, Instagram, TikTok.
And you just type in Imar Shephard.
Yeah, and once you type in Imar Shephard, you will find me.
You say your latest one is Morning Glory?
Yeah, that's
What's
the name of the album.
inspiration and what's the background and the inspiration behind the title and that album?
Alright, the title track on that album is called Morning Prayer. You know, at the time we were
Is
looking
it like a gospel? Is it like a gospel? Well, like a religious?
The thing about it, you see, Imar Shephard coming from a place where, everybody did have to go to church. Everybody did have to go to Sunday school, we did have to sing, and, that's the rank that I came through, you know what I mean? And, up and, starting doing music professionally, it just happened that, whatever we learned over the years, from our youth growing up, you know what I mean, we just inject it into, who it is right now and the message that comes through. I, you know what I mean? So, the album is not a gospel album, but if you're a Christian, you can listen to it. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter who you be, whether you're old, young, or, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your religion. We sing about life. As I always say, Imar Shephard is a life writer, not just a songwriter. You know what I mean? Write about our experience, other people's experience, and we just express ourselves.
All right, and you say you grew up, as everybody else did, grew up in the church. So when did you know that music, this is the way you wanted to go? You wanted to become a singer, a songwriter?
Well, music was always a thing, singing was always a thing that I did always love, I was a little youth who never had no shirt up on the tree, what I mean, climb tree and sing like a bird. I was the one who used to sing at community youth clubs and Sunday school. I know what it's like to knock the desk. You know what I mean?
I'll make you one music.
I'll make my own music and all these things. But, the funny thing about it, even up and doing those things, I never even think about, become who I am right now. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I always knew there was something special about I and I. Because every time, we get the privilege to go on stage, we would bring it. People would feel good. We know what it's like to sing in church and people weeping, crying, moaning, you know what I mean? So I think that's how me even go back to calling the album Morning Glory, which the name, as I was saying, the name came from Morning Prayer, where it's supposed to name the album Morning Prayer, but somehow when that we deciding on, the name, a person slip and say Morning Glory, and I say, I eat that. That's the name I want to work with. You know what I mean? So that's how the name Morning Glory came. Yeah, man. So music, as we say, has always been an integral part in I and I upbringing, in I and I life. You understand? And as I said, I was born and grew up in St. Thomas, Cedar Valley, Richmond Gap. Now, as a musician, as an artist, in order for you to get the break, you have to come to town. So it's not until I come to town, got a job, and start perform at places like Tasty and start visit some studio, until, get frustrated, start work with a band, you know what I mean? And as we move around, it's like it becomes something that I realize that everywhere we go, people just love it, just love the energy, just love the vibes, you know what I mean? So it was like 2010, 2008, we just decide this is what we want. We walk away from a job. It's like we just give up everything. And say, music me I deal with.
You said 2008?
Yeah, like about 2008, you know what I mean?
Okay, and that's when you did your first album?
No, we started to do singles. We started to put out singles and do singles like, my officially first single that people used to pay attention, or people still pay attention to. We released it in 2010, a song called Woman I Need You. You know what I mean?
That sounds like our next artist song.
Yeah. Well, you think about it, I think whenever I type in Woman I Need You, I always see Caesar Kalanchi come up. So Caesar has a song called Woman I Need You as well too, but at the same time, you know, since like an artist who out there from a longer while and you know him network big. So you know when it comes onto YouTube, you know, it depends on the network. You know what I mean? So what happened? Yeah, you know, he have a song called Woman I Need You as well too, but it just happened that, you know, I come up with a title, Woman I Need You, like that, and you know, it's my first song, it's my first video as well too. You know what I mean? That's a song that people start pay attention. And of course, it was, you know, recorded by DeMarco, singer-songwriter DeMarco, and that was a great move for I and I. At the time, I was a relatively young artist, you know, need a little strength, need a little break, need a little peak, you know, just a little peek through the door, you know what I mean? And you know, it just came along and just make it possible. So I said, all right, that's good, you know, and that's when you start.
So, it's a competitive field, competitive world within the music industry.
Definitely.
What makes you different? What makes Imar Shephard stand out? Just say you're on a flyer who want to go see, who want to see Imar Shephard.
I think what makes me stood out is the message that I bring to the world. Yeah, them say we can sing good too. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, sometimes, you know, we are our best promoter, you know. You know what I mean? We have to promote ourselves, we have to talk highly of ourselves, we have to talk good things of ourselves, but at the same time when the audience give you the stamp of approval, you know, it's so wonderful, you know what I mean? But for me, yeah, it is always a blessing, yeah man.
Alright, so you want to do reggae, or would you consider any other genre if you haven't yet?
Well, alright, if you listen to Imar Shephard, as you asked me the question a while ago, if I'm a gospel artist or if I do gospel, well, if you listen to Imar Shephard, I have a tendency to fuse the different sound to create my style, my vibration. So it means that I listen to a wide variety of music. I listen to souls, I listen to reggae, I listen to R&B. So what I do is just fuse the different sounds. So if you give me a soul song, I can sing it.
Okay.
If you give me R&B, I'll sing it. You know what I mean? If you give me a soca song, I'll
sing it.
You understand? I can practically sing anything when it comes down to music. I mean, the Almighty bless me with that kind of voice that I can adjust, you know, if we really want to.
Alright, so you like different type of music. You just love music.
I just love, but reggae music is my foundation.
Yeah. Who, dead or alive, is like an inspiration or one of your favorites? Just one.
Alright. You know, me have so many favorite artists that it hard. You know, if you say one still, but me I go with Bob Marley, you know, based on the message, based on the energy, based on, you know, in work ethics, you know what I mean? Based on
that's a big one.
How him spread the message and how the message strong, you know what I mean? So, you know, we love Bob Marley.
Okay, Bob is still here with us in spirit, but the way all the music is going today, what do you have to say? Are we losing that deep down reggae soul music? What do you have to say about what the younger generation is doing today? Where the music is going?
Well, personally, I feel like they're not pushing good music enough. You know what I mean? For a lot of folks, a lot of people, even the media, it's about the jump up and the hype, you know, which not really wrong to a certain extent, but at the same time, you have to, you know, find that balance, you know, where music is concerned. I think good music, you know, will stand the test of time. It stand the test of time, and it will. You understand? We can't robot good music. For example, I just mentioned Bob Marley. Can you imagine you play a Bob Marley song right now? You understand? And it does sound like I just yesterday's record. You know what I mean? So, you know, the state of the music, as I say, you know, I feel like them can do more for culture music, for reggae music. You know, not bashing dancehall because dancehall our culture same way,
Right.
our roots, but at the same time, we want more conscious music around here. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Another way Imar Shephard stand for, no?
Yeah, that's what they stand for. You know what I mean? Yeah.
All right. So, Baba, one of your favorites. And you mentioned earlier that you did a collab with, are you on Kenny's album?
Yes.
Anybody else that you do collabs with?
Oh, I was privileged to do collaboration with artists such as Cesar Calanchi, yeah, DeMarco. We have a collaboration on my album that we recently put out with Bushman, You have a European Rashada Margie, bad artists, you know what I mean? You have a sister from California named Empress Aqua, very good singer, We have a collaboration with an artist called Glenn King, he's my music teacher, yeah. And yeah, we have a next one with a female named Nastasia. And not just that, we have a next one with a next female named Ashley Irie, you know what I mean? So, yeah man, I have been privileged to get a lot of collab, where music is concerned. For some reason, we always, try with a good energy. So I guess when the good energy out there, Buckeye, we just connect and it just work, naturally. Yeah.
So, is there anyone that you would love to collaborate with? I know you called some names earlier, but is there anyone else that you think that would be the ultimate collaboration?
Well, I mean, we always open for collab, but, I and I work with energy. Your energy, I feel good that for one, and, you have to represent yourself well. And represent me too. Because first of all, if we ever do a collab, I'm ever drop in my network, I'm gonna like to drop in your network. You know what I mean? So we have to represent, partially the same thing. You know what I mean? But yeah man, a lot of artists out there where, I would love to collab with, but one in particular, you have an artist called Barry Summers, from Jamaica. Yeah man, in fact, we did talk about it, but it just now manifests as yet, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, so with the help of the Almighty, we could see what can go on. You know what I mean? Yeah.
In today's market, who do you think? Because I hear them fighting over, well, they can't fight over the king of reggae, but if I don't know who's the king of dancehall, who do you think right now is the most influential, or who has been the most influential artist to you?
Well, when you talk about influential artists, first of all, you have to separate the two, you know what I mean? Because you have to understand this. You have the international one, you have the one them down in Jamaica who say them a king and who say them and this and that. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? If you talk about a worldwide king, you understand you talk about Sean Paul, you know what I mean? You talk about them kind of, them, caliber there. I mean, you have the Bean, you have the Bunty, you have the Cartel, and even the Sensi who we see, them up against and, fighting to be who is king and who is that. Now, at the end of the day, we need to look for music from a different standpoint. You understand? We need to look for music from a standpoint where we stop fight for who best or who better and just do good music. Do music that will highlight Jamaica. Music that will represent yourself. You remember that we as artists, we are ambassadors who are supposed to go out there and represent our country, our roots, our culture. Yeah man, take the time out to think about those things rather than fighting for who better than who deserve the crown and all these things. There's a lot more things there to think about or fuss about than to go down that road. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To me, personally.
Alright, I'm just gonna reversed a little bit. You said you left St. Thomas and went to Kingston to pursue your dreams. Eh? Were you, what do you call it, nurtured by any other artists? Like, you know, when you were young, coming up in the business, 2008, 2010, was there anybody who was so influential to you that they took you under their wings, nurtured you to become?
Well, I've been around artists, you know, a lot of artists, you know, before, even the same Barry Salmons, you know what I mean? And of course, yeah, DeMarco, who record the first songs that people start pay attention to I and I for, you know what I mean? And yeah, you know, we give thanks to him, and we give thanks to the energy, and we give thanks to the vibes. But, you know, coming from country, you know, I was brought up in the country where, coming from that side of the world, the thing about it, I think we come with a raw, natural talent that I don't want to change too much. You know, I don't mind how one, you know, advise me and, you know, steer me certain way and all these things. But in terms of, you know, changing my style, no. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, we give thanks for the artists who will go around, who give you a little directions and give you a little advice, you know what I mean, to help to perfect the craft. Yes.
So you're a first generation artist, parents were, you never grew up in a home where?
No, you know, the only thing we know, my mama, you know, she sing in church, she still sing in church. You know, and of course my uncles and, you know, cousins, you know, a lot of them can sing, but none of them never reach out like me reaching out right now and taking it to a next level.
Okay. And at your level right now, what do you have to say to someone who is peeking in the door, like I said earlier, trying to make a name for themselves? What would you have to say to a young artist, an aspiring artist?
Well, surround yourself with positive people, you know what I mean? Music is a positive energy, so, you know, it's what you put out there is what come back at you. So therefore, put out good music, you know what I mean? Recognize what you have, believe in yourself, you know what I mean? Respect the business, respect the elders in the business, and just consistency is the key, no matter what. Just keep pushing, keep fighting, and you know, you will get it. You will get there.
Any new projects coming up?
Well, you know, we always have new projects. One thing about Imar Shephard, I always writing new songs. You know, as I say, I always open for, you know, collaboration, as long as the energy right. You know what I mean? So, we have a song coming, you know, just post the first picture of it this morning. A song produced by Xpressive Music. You know what I mean? It's gonna release next month, the 21st and next month. And of course, the name of that song is called How Can I Complain? You know what I mean?
What's it called?
How Can I Complain? Yeah. Rhythm, you know, built by Roots Ronic Band. You know what I mean? So you can all look out for that one. And beside that, you know, as me say, I always write song, and maybe I never tell you, but I am a producer as well too. So I'm a producer, so you know, we always have song coming.
Okay.
Yeah. Always another song in a day, you know, like always have another song to come. You know what I mean?
But the title of that song, How Can I Complain? That's
Yeah,
the name of the song?
yeah.
Explain the title.
Well, basically, alright. Based on what I'm saying in that song is that the Almighty bless you with everything.
Oh,
you know?
I got you.
Yeah, everything the Almighty bless you with. You know what I mean? So, why should I complain if me can sit in here talking to you in this interview? I'm here in Atlanta, you know, doing shows and all these things. Me used to say, oh, me can't get on a show out there and all them things. No, me I get on shows, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm going places, I'm traveling, you know what I mean? So, how can I complain? You know what I mean?
Oh,
what me need to do is just be grateful and just keep pushing, keep fighting, keep working, keep spreading the message. And as me say, what you put out there, come back at yourself. You know? Can't complain. That's what I
Want to tell us about some of your stage performances who you have shared the stage with? I mean, I saw you twice in 1 week you explained you and Kenny, and then you were at Raga Lax's tour.
Yes.
Charlotte and Rose's edition of the Stepper in the Babylon tour, and you also took the mic. Your manager told me that you were sick. And you might not wanted to sing, but you never like you didn't sick to me.
Well, the thing about it, whether we're sick or we're alright, once we see the mic, all of a sudden we just power up, we just feel like we just want to represent that for one, and we want to support, because one of the things about music is that, you have to support another artist. No matter what, you have to support, you have to give strength, and you have to represent wherever you go. You know what I mean? And yeah, I was a little bit, because of the change of climate and support, but, we managed to.
Yeah. So tell us about some of your places that you performed, like on some of the events.
All right. So much.
I just suppose a few, you're not going to everything.
But I've been around. I've been to England twice, tour England twice. I've been to St. Kitts, down Jamaica, you have the Bob Marley celebration. That stage. I've been on that staging. I've been on the Dennis Brown, staging one year as well too. And you have Alabama, I've been on a festival over there. You have Lovejoy, I've been on a festival here. I've been on several, a lot of,
whatever you consider best.
All right. We perform on so many good shows that we get so many great response that it's hard to pick one that stand out. But I remember 2017, 15, I went to St. Kitts, and it was Imar Shephard in concert, and of course, some other artists happened to open for I&I, and it was a song called Feeling at the time, and to see the Prime Minister and his wife came out to support I&I, some of the dignitaries who came out to support I&I, it's like it did open my eye back then, because it was quite a while, but at the same time it stand out to me, what I mean? Right. Yeah.
You said St. Kitts?
Yes, St. Kitts are the name as well.
Alright, never flip that now. Have you ever had like a performance that you wish you never had like the worst performance? You went somewhere, something happened, maybe you get sick or you got whatever it is. Anything that you regret?
Alright, I'm gonna tell you the truth. How I look at life, my downfall is my upbringing. Meaning like, even if I go and make a mistake, you understand, or I feel like at the worst performance I ever do, I use it as a way of motivating myself.
Say that
one.
You
understand? I've been, let me tell you, I remember performing, I used to work at Tasty, in Jamaica Tasty Limited, and so working there is like we get the opportunity to perform on stage as a guest artist.
The
talent show, yeah. And I remember the first 2 times we go on it, mash it up, and think me a big artist and all these things. But the 3rd time now, I said to myself, at the time I was singing over songs. I said to myself, no man, I can't live like this. I have to start with some originals. And it was so happened that I wrote a song, which is my first song, and we go down King Jamin's studio, and King Jamin's give me a rhythm, and I say, alright, we're going to try one different avenue, a different energy, and different vibes now. Remember, I mash up the show 2 times, Wow, I tell you, the 3rd time the show mash me up. And then, me work at Tasty. So after
everybody know you.
So after the show mash me up, so me have to go face my work as them the following morning, you know what I mean? And that are the art, and not even the boo when me get at the following morning when me have to go face the work as them, that the rough. Really rough.
But you face them though?
Of course I face them, and as me say, it helped me to grow more because I never stop. I just keep writing, write and throw away a song and write until the writing, becomes who I am now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So a lot of people don't talk about them downfall, or talk about their mistakes, or talk about the times when they've been struggling in music. You know what I mean? We can attest to that. We can tell us that we struggle a lot, we fight a lot, you understand? A lot of mistakes, but we manage to overcome. And that's all that matters, where the music is concerned.
Alright, so we'll wind down a little bit now. So what make you get up every morning and say, I want to continue this journey? This is what I'm doing and this is what I want to do. What gives you that motivation every day to get up and do music?
First of all, I believe that the Almighty blessed me with a talent that I can't be selfish with. You know what I mean? I have to share it. I have to make sure that the message and the inspiration that comes to me, I can be able to share it with the people. So one of the things is the people. You understand? And me as a man, we believe in a unity. We believe in a peace. You understand? And I believe that music is one of the ways that I can use to bring, unity, peace, to a wide scale of people across the world. You know what I mean? So those are some of the reasons why I get up and decide that music is one of the things that I love to do and I will always do. You know what I mean? Until the day I die,
So Imar, is there anything I want to talk about, when I ask you a question about, talk about it that you want to share with everyone? We never discuss. Is there anything that...
Alright. What I would like to share with everyone is that to me, music is life and life is in the music. And sometimes it's kind of difficult to reach the general mass out there where the music is concerned. So up now. We would like the support, from everybody, everyone. I have 2 albums out so far, one called Morning Glory and one called Unleashed. And I believe that there is a message on those albums for each and everyone out there. If it's not one, it's the other. You know what I mean? So keep supporting Imar Shephard, keep supporting good music, keep supporting artists across the world. And for those who help I and I to reach where the music is concerned, like the great Wayne Hall, you know what I mean? And of course, we have to say give thanks to you, for having me, see the artists, Ragalax or over there for, big respect, see him with Kenny Blessing. Me have to say, give thanks to Kenny Blessing for, incorporating and his album. And definitely, I want to thank everyone for supporting Imar Shephard over the years. We really appreciate it. Team Imar Shephard. Every fans, everybody who go on Facebook and share, everybody who participate, all the producers, man, I like to say, big respect, I really appreciate the item, and one of the things that I would like to leave with the people them is that I promise you, I will continue to do great music, no matter what, I will continue to do great music for you, so look out for more Imar Shephard. Your ANC, the last of me.
Yeah. So Imar, thank you for your time. Let's sit down and chat.
Yes, man. Give thanks, man. Yeah, man. Definitely, man. It's a blessing, man. It's always a blessing, and thanks for having me. Yeah.
Thank you for watching another edition of Tell It Like It Is. We'll see you soon with another special guest. Please visit us at www.xpressivemagazine.com. That's Xpressive with an X, xpressivemagazine.com. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Blessings. This segment was sponsored by Wadada International. Please visit us online at www.wadadainternational.com for all your natural herbs and spices.